Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man. The channel is the No Metric, No Simping, All Subjects channel. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't know how much we'll get to today because y'all know today is Friday, and Friday I be at that money. So we'll get to some stuff, but we don't know how much. So I want to talk about relocation and how some of y'all really need to just go ahead, get your money up and relocate. Now, this is what people do. People, what they do is wait, hold on. I'm seeing a speck here. What they do is they'll take their tax refund, which is their best chance, most people's best chance to relocate, and they'll buy cars and TVs and all that stuff with it. And thus, you in the same boat for a whole nother year. You know how I know? Do you know how I know? Because I have done it. So, if you're not prospering, prosperity is your money increasing. This is my definition of prosperity. Your money increasing without having to go back and use it. Where you can build your money up to the point where even things like car repairs and stuff, you be having a separate fund for that kind of stuff. To me, that's prosperity. It's not where you go to work every day and after you buy anything, you practically broke. That's not prosperity. Prosperity, you can buy stuff, you still can save, and you still can do some of the things you want to do. Well, there's different elements to it though. You have social prosperity, you have financial prosperity, you have physical prosperity. The physical prosperity, that's more up to you and what you do. Just like financial and physical. Social, you could be a good person, a friendly person, but if you live somewhere where people don't deal with each other and funny acting and stuff like that, that's out of your control. You're not gonna prosper from a social standpoint. You're gonna be in public, let's say you at a church, you invite people in your church, ain't none of them gonna come because you in a place where people just funny acting like that. Whereas you go somewhere else where they more social, a few people will start to show up for stuff like that. I've seen a lot of ministers stop preaching for this reason. Now, it's not, it depends on what you're talking about, yeah. But there's people to hear anything you're talking about. It's false prophets that's prospering financially all over the world. But it's more dependent on the social element of where you at. So if you are in a place where people just funny acting like that, they deal with their little few and that's it. They don't like to talk to strangers, stuff like that. You ain't gonna prosper socially. You wanna relocate somewhere where you can prosper in every area of life. Now, of course, people are not trustworthy, and people we're hearing a lot more savage stories, things people doing to people they don't know or they don't like. So you do have to be careful. But a lot of y'all need to relocate, man. And I've been back in Milwaukee for, let's see, six and a half years. It's time again. It's time because, for one, it's if 6 years is plenty enough time to get things going the way you need to get them going, if you ain't getting them going the way you need to get them going, you got to start looking at the things you doing, and you have to be like, okay, well, if I did the same thing somewhere else, would it be the same result? What I do, if I did it somewhere else, it's not going to be the same result. It's not. I lived in Texas for almost 3 years. Like, was it 3 years? It was 6 months shy of 3 years. I moved there December of 2014, and I stayed there until July of 2017. And one thing I could tell you is what I'm doing right now, if I did it there, knowing what I know about Texas, it would do a lot better. It would. Like, that's just, now in terms of working jobs, I came back here because, you know, I tell y'all all the time, like, in Texas, the biggest obstacle is going to happen when you go to work. Especially if you from the Midwest. Like, you go down there, you gotta kind of let them get away with stuff just to keep a job. In the Midwest, that ain't how we move. If you ain't giving me something, if you are being unfair, if you talking to me disrespectfully like we in slavery times, which what was happening, then in the Midwest, we believe in standing up for ourselves. You do it down there, they gonna punish you. I see a lot of Texas plates here in Milwaukee. People that moved to Texas that came back. And that's probably the main reason, because you got to be ready for Texas. That's where I come in. I'm going to help you. Like, if you're thinking about moving to Texas, it's a nice place, but make sure when you go down there, you got some money. You got some money. You go down there by yourself, you can make it easy, way easier. But if you go down there with a family, dude, it got pretty hectic and pretty stressful at times. You go down there by yourself, man, you could stay in budget suites till you get a place. You don't, if you single, Texas people is gonna be friendly enough. If you friendly, you should be able to meet some people that's cool. Now, if you a hood person, I would advise you, don't go down there trying to hang with the hood people down there, because they different. They different than the hood people in the Midwest. Like, yeah, they might not rob you and stuff like that, but, you know, they can get a little crafty in some ways. And some of them probably would try to rob you, but that ain't gonna be your biggest thing, especially if you're a woman. Man, them dudes will run through you. You would think, you gotta be careful, because you would think you inviting this dude to your house and he gonna come to your house with 2 of his friends, thinking all 3 of them finna have fun. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Like, I would advise, like, anybody, anywhere, you meet somebody for the first time, you probably should have people with you, or you should be in like a very public place where if they try to rob you and stuff, you can cause a scene. Because these dudes, they don't be wanting to go to prison. They do not be wanting to go to prison. They want to thug out here and get away with it. But they know ain't no gun. A lot of them know ain't no guns in prison, so you gonna have to be the man you pretending to be and knuckle up. So, and all that making weapons, you think, well, I'm just gonna be making one. Man, them guards gonna be on you like white on rice. You knew you ain't got no clout. With me, when I be in corrections, I don't care if you knew or not. You know, I'm gonna treat you the same, treat everybody the same regardless. But relocation, okay. I'm gonna show you why. Like, let's just use Texas for example. And let's say you going by yourself. you can make it. And I'm gonna show you. If you got a car, like this is what you do. If you got a car that's new and no problems, you could drive down there. It's gonna be a rough drive, but you could drive down there. If you got a car that's okay, but it might need a little work, ship that car. Don't drive that car down there. Ship it. It'll probably cost you like $700-800, no more than $900. So just get prepared for that expense. Just ship it. You ship your car, you could put all your stuff in the car, and if the people is good about it, like the one I use, I can't remember the one I use, but I'm gonna have to find them when I get ready to move again. They didn't care that I had my car loaded down with stuff. I had it loaded with stuff, and some of them don't care. They didn't care. But worst case, you'll be like, okay, well, if you want to leave now and you got a little money, let's go through a couple scenarios, and this ain't gonna be my shortest video. Let's say you got $2,500 now. If you only got $2,500, then you're gonna need to find a job, and you definitely gonna need a car. You can go down there and do people ready assignments. It'll keep you afloat. It'll keep you from going through that $2,500, you know. But it's like, if you don't got a place, you're like, man, I got to get out of here now. Man, call down, and you could call Budget Suite. I stayed there for 10 months. Then I finally got a place. Because it's hard to get a place. It's hard to find a place there. It's not that they're not available. Some of them can be very picky. So we was there for like 10 months. I got a job, got in my career field after 10 months. And so, but we staying in Budget Suite. Budget Suites, like if it's just you can get a 1-bedroom, and it's gonna have everything you need. Like if you play online video game, it's gonna be a kind of bad connection, but you can get everything you need for that particular time period. You own everything. It'd be like a little 1-bedroom studio, and it was 6 of us in there, you know. But, you know, I wouldn't advise it. People do it, but I wouldn't advise it if you got a bigger family. Because the 2 bedrooms can be a little costly, way more costly. But Texas, you know, this how it's gonna be. They gonna, like, some of them gonna seem like they talking slick. Like if you need something, don't get to going back and forth with them. Just when they talk like that, just agree with them. And down there they be saying yes sir, yes sir, yes ma'am. It's like don't be down there like trying to be different. Get what you got coming before you start trying to buck. Because they'll make you pay some prices down there, I'm telling you. Don't get no arguments with people down there at work, or people you need to give you a place or anything, because this is how they are. If you polite, a lot of time that'll make people want to help you down there. Like, watch, you know, don't get into them dialogue. You gotta pick your battles for real down there. Like, I got into it one time. Like, I got into it with a dude at work. He was already there. He's from Indiana. We got into it because he just was talking slick, man. And so we was trying to talk quiet. I was telling him, man, you think because you young, you gonna whoop me, man? We can go outside, man. I ain't gonna tell nobody. Like, we was literally arguing, ready to fight. Because he was just talking that slick. I said, dude, I don't know who you. When I said I don't know who you talking to, he said, I'm talking to you. I said, what you trying to accomplish though? What you trying to accomplish? You know, we just arguing. I'm on the buns. We at a restaurant. I'm in the middle. And one guy was on the other end. He was staying out of it. And the guy I was arguing with was on the other side. He was like on, which side was he on? He was on the left side. He was on the meat, the dude I was arguing with. So he goes and tells the manager and make it seem like it was all me. Manager didn't come to me because that's another thing, man. When you knew, you got to fly under the radar. Because he had been there for like 6 months. Like down there, if you've been on a job for 3-4 months, they look at you as like you're a veteran. Like if you be on a job with a high turnover and you make it like 3-4 months, they look at you like, oh yeah. They start respecting you. They treat new people like dirt on a lot of them jobs. You just got to be able to get past it. So if it's just you and you got 2,500, don't drive down there if you don't have to. If you got a nice car, go ahead and drive. Gas probably gonna be about 3-something, 400, depending on what you got. If you ain't got no big old truck, probably gonna be like 300-400. So that'll leave you with 2,100. You got 2,100. You know you gonna obviously be eating along the way, and you gonna want to have money to eat when you there. Like Jack in the Box, I don't know about now, but Jack in the Box and Burger King got us through a lot of tough times because it was cheap and it tasted good enough to keep eating it. So when you first get there, you can do something like go to Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box is probably one of the cheaper restaurants, but it's decent. Like I miss Jack in the Box. Cause like if you got money, man, you can get that higher stuff. Jack in the Box gonna be fire. You can, like the cheaper stuff was just average. But if you can get the higher stuff, man, shoot. So you got 2,100 left and you ain't got your place yet. If you go somewhere like Budget Suites, man, in case you don't know, it's gonna be more roaches in Texas. You just gotta kill them. I'm telling you now. I had names for them roaches. I saw this big old roach downtown. I called that one Armor. Because he was walking like he was buff. Like he was walking like he was one of the people. Like he was going to work. So I saw all these people walking up the street downtown Dallas. And that roach was just like this, right with him. Wasn't nobody even killing him. I thought I was seeing things, I just laughed. So, you know how people be walking to work, like in New York and bigger cities? The roach was walking right with him. I kid you not, he was about this big. They big, man. You think Mississippi roaches is big? Man, you ain't seen nothing. Wait till you go to Texas. So, you know, if you stay somewhere like Budget Suites, a lot of people stay in the hotels like when they get evicted and stuff because down there, eviction could turn around in 30 days. Like you would go to court, he'd been and gave you 2 weeks. Like that's why everybody in our building, except for one person, got evicted because what was it? The electric bill was $500 and the rent was already $1,000. So normally the electric bill was around $100 something, $200 something. That month it jumped up to $500. Caught everybody off guard. It was a Latino family upstairs. It was these older black people on the other side at the top. And then the dude at the bottom, he was the only one left. And I said to them, I said, he probably got to pay their loan. So you can, if you by yourself, you can go down there and you ain't got no place. You can go to budgets. It's gonna be a little sketchy, but like it was some it was families in there. The kids got along. Like the kids was going to school together. They was playing together. Like it was crazy because I saw one girl was moving. And this was after I already moved out. She was moving out, her and her mother. And the kids didn't know she was moving. Because the mother probably said, don't be telling all them kids either. Because those was her friends. She was looking all sad. Because y'all got to realize that's what kids want more than anything. Kids be wanting other kids that they get along with. Now, in pockets of Texas, you got to be careful with that bullying stuff. You know, so hopefully you done did what I did. You already done taught your kids how to defend themselves, so on and so forth. The other kids are back off. Like when in Texas, it ain't always upfront respect. You gotta earn them people respect over time. Time is what they look at. They don't look at your abilities. Don't always be talking about, in Milwaukee we did this. They hate that. Like one dude told me, F Milwaukee. I said, forget you. Don't do that. People gonna be telling you in Texas now. You ain't in such and such no more. So to save that, don't even do it, because people, they treat Texas like it's a whole nother country. Whole nother country itself. It probably will be one day. That's how different they think. And if you more conservative, you gonna be straight. If you liberal, do not talk about politics. Just don't. You might even have to lie just to keep people off you. Like, well, I don't follow it that much. And they'll back off. You're going to see people from all over the world. All over the world. To me, the Africans in Texas were better than the Africans here. See, in the Midwest, they try to fit in with white people and this, that, and that. But in Texas, the white people in Texas treat them Africans just like us. So a lot of them, they be saying us. Us blacks. Like, they don't try to separate themselves, because down there, it's not like that, man. If you African, you black. If you black, you black. You was born in America, same thing. And you gonna hear racial slurs sometimes. You gonna hear racial slurs sometimes. You can get money easy. If somebody call you the N-word, man, you better become Denzel Washington, because that's an easy $100,000 right there. Don't fight. Be like, did you just call me? I dare a white person to call me one. Come on, I could use that money. Come on. Do it where I can capitalize. But let's get back to the dollar amounts. We're gonna wrap this up in like 5 minutes. So we was going from 2,500. So you got your food, stuff like that. You got Kroger's down there. You got Albertsons, which is another. Aldi's, of course. It's plenty stores, man. Plenty stores. You got the mom and pop stores. But you grocery shopping for yourself. So you really don't have to like do a lot of grocery shopping, because the restaurant, Texas cost of living, shockingly, the main thing you're going to have to pay a lot for is housing. You have to pay a lot for housing. Food wasn't that bad. In fact, like down there, you get a lot of stuff for like $1. Like how we surviving, they had these big thick packs of bologna. Like when I was going through that rough point, about this thick for $1. Bread was like less than $1. And then we was getting them shoestring fries. It was a big old bag that we all could eat from for $1. So food wasn't the problem there. It was the housing. Like when you down there, just know you will get evicted quick. So you can't wait till the end of the month. You got to put your money up every week for your rent. That'll save you, I'm telling you. So if your rent is $1,400, then I will put up $400 a month or $400 a week. And then you should always put up more than you need to put up for your bills anyway, because all of that extra money is just going to be sitting in there. Your money's still going to be growing. That's why you got to move somewhere where you can prosper. See, people want to, the cost of living. It wouldn't matter. It don't matter if you live in California. If they give you a job where you making 300,000, you making 300,000. That's what? That's 10,000. Is that 10,000 a month? No, that's 30,000 a month. You telling me you can't pay no rent with that much money? Man, you can live wherever you want. If you like, okay, if you, man, why I keep getting the hiccups? If you ain't, like in that type of career where you gonna make that much money, like let's say you in the 40s, 50s, 60s, you don't move to California. You don't move there. Don't talk about you having faith or any of that. You bet if you making 40,000 like in your career, you would be better off moving somewhere like Texas. That's why they're all moving there. Or even like if you making 50 grand, it's gonna be a tight. But I think you can make it in Arizona too. But you're gonna have to put that rent up every week, faithfully. Don't touch it. So if your rent is $1,700, you know you got to put up like $450 a week. If you get paid every 2 weeks, you got to put up like $900. Like some of y'all, like that's why you don't move to places like Arizona if you're not gonna grind. If you a one job person, you might just want to stay where, if you in the Mississippi or the Midwest, you probably would be better off just moving to a town with more jobs and people got higher incomes. But you don't move to California and stuff like that and you only in a $40,000 field. Now you might can make it $50,000 in Nevada. I saw some of their rents. You might can make it there. But you still got to be on your grind. Like that West Coast, that's grind. You might as well say from Texas to the left, that's West Coast. Well, it's the West. Texas ain't the West Coast per se, but Texas is the Southwest. You in the West when you in Texas. And you gonna find out that you in the West if you go to Texas. Now, if you got a family, what you will want is to be a little more patient. I know y'all live in these sketchy towns. Y'all tired of hearing gunshots, ambulance, stuff like that. But if you're not careful, you're going to hear that down there too. Like it's certain places you could move down there though that's more more suburban, more mellow. Like the thugs be on more on some smooth stuff than they do in the Midwest. Like they thugs down there, maybe some of the young ones, but they could have like them dudes in their 20s and stuff. They don't be like kind of more like old school. They'll call you school. They ain't gonna be as disrespectful unless they on drugs or something. You know, the teenagers gonna be teenagers no matter where you go. Them dudes had big mouths down there, but just like everybody else, I earned their respect. They stop acting like that. So, but if you got a family, you want to try at least get your place first. Because I'm telling you, it got rough not having a place. Budget suites, like we made it down there with budget suites for them 10 months. But I was grinding, like I was doing them labor. I told y'all some of the stories. I was doing, I don't think I had I had a job, but I ended up quitting. That's the one where I just was telling you about, where me and Dill was getting into it. And so they took me off the shift, put me on late night. And I was cool with late night. But what happened with that was, Latinos gonna look out for each other, man. So she waited until one of the white bosses was on vacation. And she brought another dude in, like a Latino dude, practically to do my job. Wasn't nobody complaining about anything I was doing on late night. But she tried to train him on my shift. And I was already tired of them bumping me around and some of the stuff they was doing. Like I told them, we had a Jamaican dude was the GM. And I used to tell him, like, I told him when that happened, like, so let me get this straight. You can get on me when I do something wrong, but when she did all of that with dude on my shift, you ain't say nothing? I said, all right, man, I see how y'all is down here. So he'll be practically chasing me. You gotta move faster, move faster. I'm moving fast, but he still would. That's just how he was. He was kind of a petty dude. So, but when she did that, I had talked to him. I said, hey man, it's snowing outside. It was snowing that day. I had just got my van from Milwaukee. I had it shipped. I said, hey man, it's snowing out here. Are y'all open? Because I'm just going to walk. I ain't going to drive my van. He said, oh yeah, we open. Come on in. I said, okay. So I walked from Budget Suites, where I was staying at the time, to, like, it's a street. It's Highway 360. That was the Budget Suites I was at. But Steak and Shake, which is where I was working, was on East Lamar. The streets intersect. It was snowing to the point where I went around the other side of the freeway and came up that way, because how them cars was coming around that corner, I didn't want to chance. So I walked to work. I had snow all in my hair and stuff. And then they pulled that. At first I was like, oh, I ain't leaving you. I walked over here. He can leave. She like, nah, I gotta train him. I said, how are you even hiring people with, I forgot the dude's name. What was his name? Little white dude. I said, he ain't even here. How you doing this anyway? What they do, and it's very annoying, when you make a good point about something shiesty they doing, they'll just try to stand there and act dumb. Like she did. I said, how you even doing that? Did they tell you to do that? I said, such and such ain't even here. She just standing there. Little fat something. Built like Ram Man. Remember Ram Man from He-Man? Little legs and that wide upper body hopping like this. That's how she was built. Little funny built something. Like she weighed 250 and 200 of it was in her upper body. So, wait, how much time we got? Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. So if you're a family, let's say you got 2 kids, you married, or you got a girlfriend, 2 kids, be careful. You taking your woman down there, you better make sure that's your woman. In her mind, she got to be your woman. It's them dudes, they got TY, they call it TYB. Y'all know what TYB, take your. When we first got there, dude, we was moving in, dude, flirting with my wife. So, you got a family, you want to try to find a job in the place first. If you can't, and you just in a hurry, you can go down there by yourself. It'll jump off quick enough for you. And if it don't, you can just come back and just say, well, let's wait a year. But you want to have, like, if you just say, I got to move now. I got $10,000. Okay, you can move now. Get you an Airbnb. Make sure your kids don't be tearing stuff up. And make sure you got enough money to cover like at least 2-3 months. And get one where they'll give you your money back if you like move out before the time. You can get an Airbnb. It's different now. Like what I experienced when I moved, the world is different now. You got all this gig, you got DoorDash, all this stuff that you could be doing to make money while you know. Then you got Airbnb. Like it wasn't no Airbnb. Like we staying in hotels. Like when the Cowboys played, they jacked the prices up so much where you just had to move on to the outskirts, to Irving or somewhere like that for like that particular week. Then the way you avoided that, you had to pay your rent in advance. So they won't try to raise it up. You already paid it, so they wouldn't raise you up. I stayed in In-Town Suites. In-Town Suites was a little cleaner and it was a better internet connection than Budget Suites. But you still gonna have a bad connection with either one. So let's go for a ride. So, if you want me to do another video, just say, hey, I need you to talk about this a little more. I'm thinking about moving. Do not stay in no little small towns where you broke, you ain't making no money. Especially if all your friends is criminals, get away from around them. Like if your friends is drug dealers and you ain't making no money, just get away from around them, dude, because the temptation is going to be there and you'll be the one to try to do it and get caught. So if you want me to talk about this a little more, just put it in the comments. Thanks for watching.